Let us pray. Our Father in heaven, we want to thank you for the special occasion by which draws us all together in this sea of community and in this sea of the men and women, the fine men and women from command down on who serve our city. We thank you for Father Deputy Commissioner Rosario, who's going to be coming and still in our community meeting the need. His heart, his passion of his and his family to this community has continually been a testimony of his good work. We thank you and we pray for the success that all that he is given to do, Lord, that you would bless him and that you continue to raise up the mighty men and women of this community as well as in the law enforcement to stand with him, to know that he does not stand alone, that we have his back. And we thank you for the privilege. All of this we ask in that wonderful name. Amen, Jesus.
Before we start, ladies and gentlemen, can we all make sure our phones are on silent, please? Good morning. We got to do better than that. Good morning, right? Good morning. It's a big event. Welcome to East Division, home to one of the strongest communities in Philadelphia, home to the 24th, 25th, and 26th districts, home to the best police officers in the city and our nation. Today, we are not only here for just one of those police officers, but we are here to celebrate a momentous honor, not only to a friend, a colleague, but a gentleman. We are here to celebrate the swearing in of Deputy Pedro Pete Rosario. I am Inspector Anthony Luke, the commanding officer of the East Division. I can honestly say that this is the most challenging yet rewarding command that any law enforcement official has in this city and across the nation. And it's all thanks to you because you guys make it possible. Thank you. Before we start the ceremony, I would like to first acknowledge some of our distinguished guests. The Honorable Mayor Sherelle Parker. Managing Director Adam Teal. Director of Public Safety Adam Gear. Police Commissioner Kevin Bethl. Councilwoman Ketsi Lozada. Councilman Harity. Councilman Drissel. Philadelphia Police Department's executive staff. Police Department's command staff. Regional Operations Command North Chief Michael McCarrick. Commanding officers of the 24th, 25th, and 26th districts. It's Captain Bullock, DeSanto, and Wheeler. And I would be remiss if I didn't recognize the remaining city council members, dignitaries, and all the family and friends and community that are here to support and honor Deputy Rosario. Lastly, I would like to thank personally the 24th and 25th District, as well as Detective Natalie, for putting this all together overnight. This was an amazing effort. Natalie Sanchez, I'm sorry. Very impressive. Thank you again, everyone. First, I would like to call up Mayor Parker for a few words.
Thank you. Let me start by asking council members Driscoll, you're going to hear from Lozada later, but I want you all to stand with me while I am giving my remarks. Councilmember Thomas and Harity, Reps Harrell, Burgos, and Hohenstein. Steen, if I said it wrong, don't you hold it against me. Where is he? Is he here? Okay. Let me just start by saying good morning to the men and women of the 24th and 25th police districts, the people of Kensington and North Philadelphia, and the city of Philadelphia at large. I'm proud to be here with you today for this very important announcement. I do have to state for the record that this is our second meeting within a week that we've got together to meet here in the broader Kensington and North Philadelphia community. On Monday, we met with well over 50 members of the community in what was a private meeting with no press or TV cameras, so that we could do what people who are elected to public office, quite frankly, don't do enough of, is listen. I thought it was an excellent meeting and a productive conversation. We got to listen to the hopes and aspirations of the good people of this community. It was the kind of meeting, quite frankly, that we are going to do in the Parker administration again and again, because we want to lead a government that is really listening to the people, a government that people can see, that they can touch, and they can feel. Only after doing Monday's meeting were we ready to come here this morning, surrounded by members of the press and with all of the cameras here. But what was very significant is that a major decision that is going to impact this community doesn't happen to this community without conversation and communication. And that is a commitment that we have made. I also need to state this for the record. I am so super proud to have Kevin Bethl as police commissioner here in the city of Philadelphia. In a few minutes, our commissioner is going to administer the oath of office to Pedro Rosario, who, listen, and this is important to note, whose unmatched qualifications and decades of experience make him the best candidate for this job. And additionally, he just happens to be the first, or will be in a few seconds, only after the formalities take place, the first Latino deputy police commissioner in the Philadelphia Police Department. Listen, for over 225 years. For those of you who are at home and you are watching, I was very intentional by affirming his qualifications before his race and ethnicity. When you lived at the intersection of race and gender your entire life, nothing is more frustrating than someone affirming your race or ethnicity and not first the qualifications and the hard work and dedication that has earned you access to an opportunity. I promise to the people of Philadelphia a more diverse administration, a police department that looks like the people that it serves, and this decision on today is a step in the right direction. I also want to note that Commissioner Bethl is going to walk through. Now, this is when that subject matter expertise comes into play. He's going to tell you more about what a deputy police commissioner does, because guess who's not qualified to do so? Me. Okay, and he's going to talk to you about the department and our efforts here in Kensington, but this part is important to me. We rolled out a 100-day action plan on day one of the administration. We made it clear that Commissioner Bethl and the department were going to produce a comprehensive plan to use every resource available to eliminate open-air drug markets in neighborhoods like Kensington, and this is just a step forward. With that being said, I want to acknowledge also our public safety director, who has to be confirmed by the City Council of Philadelphia, is here, Adam Gear. And I want to ask you all, and this is important to me as well, that you give a huge round of applause to our commissioner, because I publicly affirm that I have his back 1,001% in every decision that he has to make to lead this police department, to make our public health and safety his number one priority. It's important that Philadelphians know his mayor has his back. Give our police commissioner a round of applause. Woo.
If y'all sit in this space, when the mayor walks away from you, you get this energy that if you can't bring it, then clearly something is wrong with you. I know the mayor already acknowledged many of the folks in this room, so I won't redo this again. But I think when, I tell people when I first met the mayor and I started down this process of she was looking for a commissioner, the first thing she said is, yeah, what are you going to do about Kensington? That was the first thing, because it's been part, and it continues to be the charge that the mayor has put forth for me and my men and women to execute. We understand the challenges that we face as we go embark on that work to help to deal with the drugs and the crime and the issues that are happening in Kensington. And so it was an honor when I started to look to say, how are we going to go about doing this process? And we needed somebody to lead in that space. And it needed to be somebody who was a leader that only answered to me and the first deputy commissioner. And so how do we do that? We appoint a deputy police commissioner. And so I started to focus on Pedro Rosario, as someone who had 29 years of dedicated service, someone who had the grit and the tenacity and the empathy to really focus on the work. The mayor said, when I met Pedro and I brought him into my office, I sat there and I shared with the mayor, it was this thing that I felt. And I told him, I said, where does that come from? He said, it comes from my parents. He said, it came from my parents. And I could feel all of it in that conversation with him. A man who was dedicated to the work, but more importantly, dedicated to the community. A man who was a family man. A man who was ready to roll up his sleeves and get the work done. When he walked out the room, I told everybody, I called my wife, I said, I got this guy. And I want to lead this work for me. And so I would focus on him, because at the end of the day, we have a lot of work to do in the Kensington community, and we have to work in collaboration to do that. So I was proud to announce today that Pedro Rosario will be the Deputy Commissioner overseeing the Kensington Initiative for the Philadelphia Police Department. So, I want people to understand the significance. I have my executive team here today, and many of them have expansive responsibilities. But Pedro's sole responsibility is to work in partnership and in collaboration with all the entities to do the work to restore the hope and the dignity to Kensington area, and that is his sole focus. And I'm so proud to have him serving that responsibility. I will share this with you a little bit offline. I started to research about Pedro, and I found this letter. It was written in 2020 by a captain who was in the 24th district. I won't read the whole letters, but you really have to see the man that stands in front of you today. In the opening, he talks about the struggles of the community. He talks about the addiction and homelessness and drugs and all of that. And then he said COVID, even added another layer on that. But then he would go on, and I'm going to read these two paragraphs, and I know I'm running longer than I should, but I just want you to see the man that stands here before you. This is what he wrote to his community. Just noting these events now makes me stop for a moment and realize that none of us are alone. There's enough trauma for anyone to have during their lifetime. I'm not noting these issues as a way of depressing all of you. In fact, just the opposite. If there's anything I learned from working with all of you, it has been the spirit to endure. It's to understand the face of unsurmountable odds, we don't quit. And he put that in bold letters, we don't quit. He went on to say, in keeping with the frame of thought, I want to reiterate to the commitment of the Philadelphia Police Department, especially the men and women of the 24th District, to combating violence, illegal drug operations, and all quality of life issues that challenge our community. Be assured, my office will continue to answer the bell and engage all of the threats aggressively. The 24th District will continue to champion the safety of our community with the understanding, like our community, we don't quit. I wish you all the best. I read that letter and I said, man, how did he forecast all of this? That the man who wrote that letter in 2020 will be now returning to lead that work, because guess what? We don't quit. And so as everybody knows, I always end my line, let's get to work. And so let me have the honor now to read the swearing in Deputy Commissioner Pedro Rosario. All right, this is a historic moment. Y'all got a good shot, right? All right. Mayor, you want to?
Let me get on that.
I state your name.
I, Pedro Rosario,
Pretty good, man. I never said it that way, so now I got it right. Do hereby solemnly swear
do hereby solemnly swear
that I will well and truly perform the duties of
that I will well and truly perform the duties of
police commissioner.
Deputy
Deputy Police
Commissioner.
Commissioner. Hey, I'm forecasting. Maybe that's another thing we'll bring back in 5 years. In the police department to the best of my ability.
In the police department to be the best of my ability.
I will obey and uphold the Constitution of the United States,
I will obey and uphold the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution and the laws of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania,
the Constitution and the laws of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania,
the Home Rule Charter,
the Home Rule Charter,
and the ordinances of the City of Philadelphia,
and the ordinances of the City of Philadelphia,
and obey and abide by all the rules of the police department.
and obey and abide by all the rules of the police department.
Welcome, Deputy Commissioner.
Stand next to him. Stay, you stay right there,
Okay.
Commissioner.
I think you're right. Time for you, my friend.
We can go on the other
Okay,
side,
okay.
Commissioner.
Wow. Truly overwhelmed. Significance and importance. That's why I try to incorporate those two words into actions that I take every day. Today, January 11th, is my youngest daughter, Kara's birthday. Kara, happy birthday. Thank you for sharing this day with me. You know, this job, this calling has provided me with many blessings. Nearly 30 years now, when I was a young officer in the 25th next door, I worked with a partner who always had my back, and I never doubted her commitment to keeping me safe. That turned into a friendship, which blossomed into the love of my life. My wife, Tanisha, a.k.a. Tish, our marriage has blessed us with two beautiful daughters, Kara, whom you've already met, and my oldest, Sydney, who just turned 18 about a month ago. Sydney's first trip out of the hospital, believe it or not, was to this very building, 3901 Whitaker. My wife and I wanted to introduce her to her extended Blue family here. And what a family that has turned into. My best friend, my best man, Ernest Ransom. Verdell Johnson, Javier Rodriguez, Hamilton Marshman, wherever you are. And I know Ramon Addison's somewhere in the back. These are true brothers, not by blood, but by our like-mindedness to answer the call to serve. I want to acknowledge the importance of who we have here today. Mayor Sherelle Parker, the 100th mayor, the first woman, the first black woman to hold the highest office in our city. You know, Mayor, my wife and I had the privilege of attending your inauguration, and we were inspired by your message of hope, accountability, and supporting the end of lawlessness and ensuring the return of lawfulness. And on a side note, my wife has embraced GTY. I've been hit several times since the inauguration with that phrase, and she's hit it with me. GTY, Pete. Come on, let's get to yes. You had to be at the inauguration to get it. Commissioner Bethl, I want to thank you for this incredible honor and the opportunity to stand by your side and undertake this worthy fight. It is with immense gratitude and humility that I accept this position, understanding the weight of the responsibility that comes with it. Yes, it's an enormous burden of responsibility to uphold the reputation of the men and women in uniform, those police officers that you see standing around you in this building. These officers serve the communities faithfully of Fairhill, Port Richmond, Feltonville, Juniata, Harrogate, Fishtown, Hunting Park, Glenwood, Norris Square, and Kensington. Service to me is not just a duty, but it's a privilege, an opportunity to contribute to something greater than ourselves. You know, I'm often asked why I became a police officer, and my reply has always been, I just wanted to be part of something bigger than me. It's about creating positive impact on the lives of others, especially the community that we serve, whether it be our neighbors, our business owners, or our community at large. Believing that together we foster an environment where service is not just a task, but a way of life, where we go above and beyond to make a difference in the lives of others. Service has always been the core of my professional ethos, and I am committed to continuing this tradition as I step into this new role. I believe that true leadership is not just about achieving personal success, but it's about uplifting others and contributing positively to the collective good of us all. I'm almost done. I am deeply committed to fostering a culture of collaboration where every member of our community will be heard, will be valued, and will be empowered. Together, we can achieve remarkable things, and our success will not only be measured by the goals we reach, but by the positive influence we have on the world around us. In closing, Madam Mayor, Commissioner, I want to express again my gratitude for this incredible opportunity. I am excited about the challenges ahead, and I'm confident that the men and women of our great department will continue their commitment to service and fulfill our sacred duty of keeping the citizens of Philadelphia safe. Mi gente. Yo entiendo la responsabilidad que tengo en mis manos. Quiero que ustedes sepan que me siento orgulloso y que considero, don't kill me, Uncle Oscar, y que considero esta posición un gran privilegio. Gracias. Thank you.
Congratulations, Deputy Commissioner. I'd like to call up Councilwoman Ketsi Lozada for a few words.
What an exciting day it is, isn't it? As a lifelong resident of Philadelphia and the only Latina currently serving on City Council, and more importantly, as a friend, I'd like to congratulate Pedro Rosario in his newest position. It has taken over 225 years to arrive at this moment, but we have finally made it, and what a wonderful selection it is. My many thanks to Pedro's family for letting him be a part of our lives as he diligently served the residents of this city. Thank you. In the past 27 years, I realize the past 27 years may not have been effortless, but your support enabled him to dedicate himself to our community. I'd also like to express my gratitude to Mayor Parker and to Commissioner Bethl for your dedication in guaranteeing that the Latino community gets what they rightfully deserve through this appointment representation. I am hopeful that this marks the beginning of numerous future Latino appointments to come. Your selection of Pedro Rosario is one that we can all say we are proud of and excited about. Deputy Commissioner Rosario has consistently demonstrated professionalism and a deep understanding of what is happening on the ground. Spending most of, if not all of his professional life here in East speaks volumes to who he is and how much he cares about the residents who live, work, and play here. While most would be trying to transfer out of here because of how difficult it can get, he has always wanted to stay and do as much as he could to improve the quality of life for all of us. I know with you leading the efforts in the Kensington neighborhood, more officers will be willing to take on this challenge. I'm excited to see and work alongside you in this new role and wish you nothing but the absolute best. Although you are now a deputy commissioner, never forget that once a 2425, always a 2425. Felicidades.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Next, I'd like to call up Eddie Lopez, President of Celaya.
Wow, before I read my little speech here, I want to tell you something. 34 years I have in this department, and not once that I ever thought that I was going to be president of Celaya for the past 10 years, and not once that I ever knew that I was going to stand here next to my good friend, Deputy Commissioner Pete Rosario. It's an honor, you know, and I consider you a good friend of mine. So with that, I'm going to speech that I wrote here, and I usually don't. I usually go on the fly, but this was important because of you, sir. Philadelphia, the police department hired its first Latino in 1966. I'm sorry, yeah, in 1966. In 69, Celaya was first known as SAPA, and we had 25 Latino police officers on this job. The highest Latino officer we ever had until today was Chief Jose Melendez. The highest Latina officer we ever had in this department was Inspector Sonia Velasquez, which is sitting right over there. And I will say, my mentor, and I am what I am today, besides my father, who I look up to very much, but Sonia helped me, guide me through this police department. For the past 10 years as president of Celaya, I had meetings with different commissioners, and we always push the issue of why we're not represented by a deputy Latino commissioner, Latino or Latina commissioner. And I was always told, tell your people to study. And time we get passed over. I had a meeting with Commissioner Bethl last week, and he just blew my mind, I will say. So, you know, I thank you, Commissioner, for that meeting. Thank you, Mayor. But I will end this by saying this. Thank you, Mayor Parker. Thank you, Commissioner, for acknowledging that we have talent in the Latino brass. And with that saying, we have more talent out there. Please, we're tired of getting passed by. So, thank you. Yes, I do. Again, thank you, Mayor Parker. Thank you, Commissioner. And congratulations, my good friend.
Thank you, President Lopez. Next, I'd like to call up Shannon Farrell. She's our president of the 24th District Police District Advisory Council. She's also an avid supporter of East Division officers.
So I was not as organized to write a speech because I could talk about Deputy Commissioner Rosario for hours, so they told me to keep it at 3 to 5 minutes. And I'm probably going to joke my way through it, so just laugh like it's funny. So I met Captain Rosario in the fall of 2019 when he became our captain. And it's going to be hard to start calling you Deputy Commissioner because I'm already back to captain. And in January, we had our first meeting with the city, and so we were all eyeing him up. We were saying, like, what's he going to do? Any different than anybody else has done? So not long after that, there was a new police commissioner, a pandemic kicked in. We were already in a Hep A breakout and the opiate crisis here. And then we had civil unrest and looting, and 2 of our corridors got destroyed. We had catalytic converters off of everybody's cars. We just went through. It's unimaginable. If we wrote this book, they would say it has to go out in fiction. Nobody will believe this actually happened. And Captain Rosario would walk into meetings where I'm the civic president, and they would say, what are we going to do? I said, nothing. There's no hope. Let's just go kick their ass and call it a day. And he would walk in and restore hope. And I'm not going to say that we left these meetings saying kumbaya, but pretty close. And at one point, we had residents on top of ShopRite with guns because they were like, nobody's going to break into ShopRite. I mean, nobody would believe that this is what happened, what we've lived through. And then he took a vacation, and he said, don't call me unless the neighborhood blows up. And the universe said, challenge accepted. And we actually had the neighborhood blow up while he was on vacation. So to say that there's probably nobody who is better for this job is just, there isn't. There's nobody who's went through all that with us. There's certainly nobody that probably would have came back to do it all over again. And to restore hope, this week, when it was announced that Captain Rosario would be coming back as our deputy commissioner and that he chose to accept that position and wasn't forced to, everybody's hopeful again. Everybody is inspired. He has walked into community meetings after all of this and been able to calm everybody down, restore safety in a community and a sense of safety, where when you look around, you're like, how is that possible? Well, there are a few things that you have to be. These things can't be taught. You have to be kind, compassionate. You have to have patience. You have a lot of things you have to do, and that's your character, and a hard work ethic, and dedication, and leadership. And all of those things are what Deputy Commissioner Rosario is to us. So we're very excited to have you back. Congratulations. Thank you.
Thank you, President Farrell. This will conclude our ceremony. We will open it up for questions and answers.
Deputy Commissioner, come on. Sure.
We didn't waste any time, did we? All right. So one thing I can count on, and let me explain to all of you, right? The police department will continue to kick in. Now that we have a new mayor, a new commissioner, we're going to become laser focused, right? Always keeping the core of our responsibility, and that's transparency, communication. I can't give you my secret plan right now. It will be forthcoming. But I can tell you that we are diligently working to something that will empower everybody, the schools. My principals are here. Our community is here. Our business owners are here. So this is not going to be a police action only. It's going to be an us action. It's going to take the entire community of Kensington, of East Division, all the officers working diligently to handle the situation. But I have that secret plan. It's in my back pocket.
Just a minute. I mean, listen. Hold on for a second. I mean, part of today is part of this is a building block of activity, right? We now bring the leader into the organization who's going to help working in partnership with the community. Over the next 100 days and the executive order, we will start to build that plan, and we will present that plan for you. But it would be not appropriate for us to talk about a plan when we have not yet engaged the community. We have not sat down and built those partnerships with the entities in here. But stay tuned. This is part of the process. The first thing is getting someone at the executive level to start that process of building a plan, working with my executive team and other members, working with the director of safety, working with the managing director, the three components that the mayor outlined in her executive order. And then we will come forward with that plan. Today is the announcement of Pete to move into that position, and then he will start that process. And then we will come back to the media to share with you not only this part of the plan, but the entire part of the executive order that the mayor put out.
Well, I think anywhere, unfortunately, Kensington for a very long time has been not a priority. So that's how we got there. And it's important that now, with the leadership that we have in place, we're moving in that direction to make it a priority. Simple enough?
We're going to do these one at a time. Lauren. You obviously have experience in this neighborhood. What does this new position allow you to do? The that perhaps you could not do before, even though you wanted to?
So for me, it eliminates barriers. Now I have direct access to resources that normally had to cut through a lot of bureaucracy. So that's the importance of this position right now.
How long have you had that secret plan? Are DHS and DHS in this room? And if not, who can speak to the expansion of payment options or how you can help people?
That's all a plan in development, and we'll be developing that. I don't know.
They are represented in here. Our director, our managing director for whom Department of Behavioral Health and Intellectual Abilities, Community Behavioral Health, along with our health department, they are under the portfolio of our managing director. So whenever you see him, you see them.
Commissioner Bethl, can you talk a little bit about how the new deputy commissioner will fit into your top command structure? Have you named a permanent first deputy, and are there more?
Well, I won't get, I'm still working out my executive team. He will be on the executive suite. As he shared, he will now join my executive team. He will have full access to all of that that comes with that position. As he said, it will be no barriers. He only answers to me and the first deputy. He will be able to get the things that he needs to build the appropriate resources to be able to address the issues that confronts him. He will be in partnership with the Director of Safety, Adam Greer, to see what are those things that we need. We will be in partnership with Adam Teal, who is the managing directors, so we can start to refine and focus our work. Dr. Wallenson and I wish to work, we say focus on focus, right? We're going to focus on Kensington. And so to do that appropriately, having somebody in the leadership position does not have to sort through any of the barriers that would normally have, whether it was at the captain's rank, the inspector's rank, or even the chief's rank, and be able to come directly to myself and be able to do that. Commissioner Stanford makes this an effective strategy for us.
Commissioner Rosario, what is an ideal Kensington look like for you? I don't know if you're satisfied. I would love to have that answer in Spanish, please.
I'll get you the Spanish answer later, but I joked about the secret plan, right? Obviously, the situation that we have in Kensington is incredibly complicated. It's something that's been taking place for decades. I know there's going to be missteps because we're imperfect people, but I can tell you, with the support of this administration, but more importantly, with the support of this community that's here today, we're going to come up with something that's going to work. And how it's going to look for me, what do I think a success is? Let me make this very basic for you. For all the parents in the room, anyone who's driven by Kensington, it's not something I would ever want to subject my two daughters to. What makes it okay for it to be happening here?
No quiero hacer un chiste de esto, pero sabemos que la situación que tenemos actualmente no es una de las mejores. No quiero hacer un chiste de esto, sabemos que la situación que tenemos actualmente es una de las mejores. Entonces tenemos un plan que se va a poner en efecto y se está haciendo y se está llevando en desarrollo. Es un plan con el cual estamos trabajando y se dará a saber después. Soy padre de familia y no quiero poner a mis dos hijas bajo esta situación o ser sujetas de algo que no van a ser felices.
Deputy Commissioner, you must have wanted to shut down open-air drug markets here for a long time if you've been here. Again, what changes now? What can you do? What will you do directly? You know they're there. What will you do now that you're in control?
The support of the mayor, the support of the commissioner, and more importantly, the support of this neighborhood.
I think it's difficult to put a timeline on because I think sometimes we have to go back in history, right, and understand the community and understand what the challenges. I worked that area. Many of the men and women know in narcotics for years, decades ago, is one of the most challenging areas in America, not just in the city, in America, right? It is often been identified as being one of the most poorest areas in America and in this community here. And so then you allow drugs and open the drug market sit on top of it, right? And so we're not going to unravel that overnight, but we are going to make progress. You are going to see demonstrated progress as we move through this work that Pete will leave in that space. He will get the resources to take the necessary action to restore order to that community. So I won't put a time on it, but we won't be sitting here next year having this conversation.
Amen.
Mayor Parker and Commissioner Bethl, you touched on the resources that are going to be needed. What are you going to ask City Council for in your budget on pending?
Let me just start by saying that the Councilwoman Lozada, Councilmember Thomas, and Councilmember Harity are here, making the public health and safety of our city and this community as our number one priority is something that is shared. That's a shared sentiment with the administration along with the City Council of Philadelphia. So it's a comprehensive approach focused on prevention, intervention, and enforcement, and that means it has to be intergovernmental collaboration. And we're going to work together to hash out what the plan is. That's why I appreciate, and I don't want Philadelphians to take this lightly. Having Kevin Bethl as our police commissioner who understood how significant it was to have someone who had a genuine and an authentic relationship with the people who live and work and are stakeholders in this community. That's what you've heard me reference when I say cultural competency and emotional intelligence. And that doesn't come from the top down. That comes from the ground up. And so this is just one act. You see our state legislators who represent this area here today. We hope that what you see when you are viewing this is that you're not simply believing what we say, but you're watching what we do. And so I appreciated the Commissioner Furman. You want us to give you a 99-point plan of everything that you should be able to see and changes. You know, how long have we been here? 8 days or 9 days? I can't remember how long we've been here. But nevertheless, the commissioner has said today with this appointment that I'm putting the team together that will lead the efforts and implement the plan that he's going to decide as our chief leader. And I'm super proud of that. I want the people of our great city to know that we don't profess to be supermen and women. We are not. But we are going to do everything we can to put our experience lived. What did I whisper to you, Council Member Lozada, when Deputy Commissioner Rosario was here? And I looked out into the audience. I said, see, this is when real life lived experience comes into play. Now you get a real example of what we mean. And so let us do everything that we can to get to work and implementing this plan. And we thank each and every one of you for being here today. If you have any additional questions, Joe Grace is here along with the police department's communications department, and we want to answer every question that you have. We're just going to formally end the press conference at this time. Again, thank you all so much for your time.